is a regular lineup on this server, I guess. um, but these are regulars that I love to see how they play, and I want to see how Vernina plays on Raze because I don't think I've seen her as a Raze. I've seen her as so many things. We know K Sweet, the regular with the jet, with those guardian kills that just astound us all the time. Oh my gosh, those plays! And I'm kind of excited to see some new names I don't think I've seen here before. Abby PJM, some
Select your
runner
agent.
ups that I don't think we've really seen them here before, but I wanna get to know these people. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, definitely some heavy hitters in the server tonight, and two teams that have done pretty well for themselves thus far in the league. Both of them are about equal, a 2-1 record in the first 2 weeks thus far. This is of course the third week out of 5 of competition for this league, and I guess CC, coming into this one, do you have any kind of expectations or would edge either team out in front here?
You, you know what? I think I'm just so I just love to see the lineup of Renina, K Sweet, Freya. They're just a force to be reckoned with. And I don't know if I can be tilted yet because I'm not that familiar with those other people. So right now, I'm kind of siding with Team Brain Dead Supermodels. Kind of a fan.
Yeah, I think I might lean their way with a prediction as well, but that's nothing to say about Shinigami. I think they have some heavy hitters on there, like I mentioned before, and they've done good thus far in this league. So I'm excited to see what can pop out from them. Of course, it is Shinigami starting on the defense. This is not their map pick; instead, it's BDSM picking into things here as they are starting on the attacker side of Ascent.
Yeah, right now it looks like we're looking at a split A push. Some people leaning towards Cat side. Actually, it seems like they're all gonna go for Cat at the moment. Ooh.
Yeah, quick cat control and the map where mid control is so pivotal. Kittens might be in for a little treat as 5 are ready and waiting. The Frenzy meta off to a great start as K-Sweet will find the Yoru.
Right
now.
Frenzy W.
Yeah. And in main,
planted.
Abby punished again. K-Sweet on that Frenzy, and it's gonna have to be a heavily disadvantaged retake here. Just 3 left alive, and already look at the health on them.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, they managed to just do a lot of damage.
Yeah, quick sight take and quick follow up on the kills. Penguin will find another, and suddenly it's left all on to Claude and Alpha. Alpha gone already. That's a flawless round, a statement piece to start things off for BDSM.
Yeah, really clean. You know, I think it all came up to Kittens trying to make that play on Cat. I don't really see how that was gonna work for her. The minute you see those steps, it loses its effect. But I want to see how that plays out in a different situation. Right now, we're looking at half buy on BDSM side, and it seems like Shinigami right now is just going for a full save. They took a lot of damage that round. Hopefully, they can try to salvage it next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought up that Yoru at the beginning. We haven't seen a lot of him out just yet. He only just got approved for competitive play, and we'll have to see how that pans out. Of course, it's just this forced buy up and kind of shutting things down. Claude will find one with the shock darts, though, so that's one of those invested weapons gone. But the remainder of her teammates, just the classics. And this should be over in short term.
Yeah, they have full control. Claude oh, she takes one down.
Last player standing.
Yeah, good little bit of economy damage there. Finding 2 picks. Kittens, she might be able to get a little more damage in here, possibly recover a weapon. But still, a 2-0 looking almost certain here. And looking at things, so starting off on the defender side, normally was what we'd see favored out from Shinigami, and consistently, BDSM, it's been this mid-control, and I want to see how that's going to be stopped in these later rounds, and if, like, the operator's going to be coming out, because Yoru, I think he can be a pretty capable offer in place of that jet.
Yes.
I haven't really considered that, but I think I agree with you about the whole mid control situation. I kind of want to see a little bit more aggression in regards to the defenders, trying to take a bit of a clue as to where they're going and getting that read and try to take back mid control from them. Just prevent it. Just keep a hold on the line.
Yeah, and with so little utility on this defender side, look how heavily stacked that B side is. Both the Brimstone, the Silva, and the Killjoy all there, and that's a perfect flash to find one, but the rest of them are there to mow down, and Freya, with that trade, that's a weapon recoverable, and at the same time, good information going the way of the defenders. Raging Penguin is going to get this door down, and Abby's trying to contest this, but the spike plant will be initiated. It's 4v4 retake, but the weapon advantage will lie with that defensive side.
Turret out.
Yeah, it seems like the fact that they're bonusing might be a bit of a scary thing, but they don't really need to worry because these are close fights. That gun is ideal for these situations.
Yeah, instantly a trade, and
stand.
it
One
continues
enemy
into the
remaining.
2-on-2. Vernina will pull things into just one left alive. It's just that Silva in the way of Claude looking for an opportunity, and she knows the positioning of this raid on generating will capitalize. But Kaylee swings in quickly for the trade, and the bonus is good enough to find 3.
Yeah, and that does a little bit of damage, but that's just not going to be
I got
enough.
money.
Already
Need
we're
something?
seeing K-Sweet going for the aggression on the attacker side with the op. Oh, looks like she elected to not pick it up though. Oh no, she still has it. But right now we're just looking at half buys on the defender side. They're hurting real bad, and I don't know if they can take this round specifically unless they just manage to get it thrifty with it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, K-Sweet up on that op is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So we've seen great things from her on the weapon before, and it's again this kind of slower default style, knowing they have the gun advantage, so pulling the pace back down. And looking at that last round, losing out on that is going to have pretty good impact on the economy and the momentum that this defensive side of Shinigami might be able to build here.
It's just a slow push right now. It looks like they haven't really quite decided. I think they're going for more of a default push right now, but it's just so slow you can't tell. And right now we're gonna see a little bit of aggression.
Yeah, that aggression from Claude practically instantly punishing Kitten. She tries another one of these peeks towards Cat. Vernina, though, is holding the line and now left on to 3. The attackers at this point just have to group up, push together, and have heavy advantage in securing this one.
Not a fight you want to take with the Stinger.
Yeah, absolutely. Good bit of damage onto 2, but still 2 bodies versus the 5. And Kaylee, this position is perfect. Eltha, she will win it out with that Stinger, but again, it's this heavy man disadvantage for Shinigami, and location even revealed off having to shoot that recon dart.
Yeah, the most they can hope to do right now is just even a little bit of damage to their economy, but it will have no effect at this point.
Shadows traveling.
Yeah, taking this op out of the picture might be great, but K-Sweet is holding the line, and she does miss the shot, but Raging Panda, or Penguin, sorry, is there to bail her out, stumbling over my animals, but it's again 4 now in a row for this attacker side.
Yeah, and you know, even if Raging Penguin didn't get that switch, just Jet's so good for those tricky situations. You want that op to have those quick get me out of here, that ability. And so she doesn't even get punished for that. Right now, we're going to see a huge force on the defender side. This could be detrimental to them, or they could be the turning point for them.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I think this has to be the turning point. This map, normally you'd see that defensive side coming out a bit of the favorite, and if you're dropping too many rounds in a row, letting that momentum continue to build for a team like BDSM that is going to take advantage of that, that could be problematic. And Kitten, she's the first to have an opportunity. However, again, these pushes from her keep getting punished. She's only been able to find 1 kill thus far this game, and that's been problematic. Vernina, the showstopper, and a recon dart gives her the information on 1. Penguin gets pick onto Abby, and the rocket will help out Eltha. She has an ultimate of her own that will trade Kaylee through, but the advantage still lying heavily, again, with BDSM as Shinigami. They continue to just be sitting on their back feet here.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to take these gunfights because,
Spike
again,
planted.
it's just their post-primes. They have all the area covered. No matter how they get to it, they can't fully control. They're going to have to be on the lookout.
Player standing.
And there we see.
Yeah,
K-Sweet.
perfect pick from K-Sweet. And trying to get this operator out of the picture, I think, is what they might need to do. But no, Eltha, she's left 2 on devices, and she finds 1. It would have to be the ace if she wants to clutch this out, but she has to fall away. A drone pestering her.
Player
And K-Sweet
standing.
holds the line, but she can't hit the shot. Eltha in for 4 now. The time is low, and 4 bullets. All she has to find this final pick. Sova falling
is it
off of
an ace?
sight. It would have to be the ace, but there's just not enough time. Freya falls back, and Eltha accepts her fate. A close one, but a 5th nonetheless for BDSM.
Yeah, and I love how Elsa, despite getting bullied by all of that utility, pinged out by everything, she still tried to take that chance. And she got 4 picks that round, which was very impressive. I kind of want to see. I really wish she could have won that, but it's just Freya played it so safe. She knew that all that Elsa needed was just a confirmation of kill. She just denied it. Though.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a tough situation. A bit of a heartbreaker for her to get it so close, but still be unable to pull it through. And something that was a little hard to see in the end there, but Freya, she picked K-Sweet's off back up, so that Jet is going to keep that impactful weapon in play. But if we look over at the Yoru, a quick play, and she might just get caught out here, having to come out the dimensional rift right in front of the Killjoy, but she will teleport out into safety. But that's a lot of utility used for naught.
That was well played, though. I never. I know that there's a huge difference between Yoru canceling his ult and then teleporting, and then just letting it run out and teleport. That was a difference. We see that she's obviously been experienced with Yoru.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, that's an ultimate and the Gatecrasher using really nothing to come of it. Maybe some map control gain, but it's instantly conceded again. And for Nina, she's vying for some control in middle, but nothing to come of it. Instead, Claude goes aggressive, finds a pick, and also will recover a Vandal. She gets out of dodge just in time. And this is the advantage, finally, in the hands of Shinigami.
Revealing area.
Oh, right now, we're just seeing. It looks like the attackers are kind of a little bit scared by this. Just a little bit more aggression on their side. But now that they've backed off,
Get out of my
they're
way!
gonna take advantage of this. They're gonna
30
recognize the
seconds
fact
left.
that they're a little bit spooked.
Yeah, and with 30 seconds,
You
it's
should
going to have to be this site in the middle. A lockdown will help to secure the site, and Blade Storm pushing right into the face, but Kitten's there to help out her Killjoy. Kaylee will trade and raise the Penguin.
enemy remaining.
Another Spike Carrier now set loose, and with 13 seconds, it's left all onto 1. She
10
has to push and find the frags, but pinched in and almost shut down. No, she still finds 1, but at this point, it's a lost cause. Eltha closes a Thrifted, get the first one on the board for Shinigami.
Yeah, and we saw that Kittens pick up the op. This might be a bit of an advantage for them. But again, we're still seeing a lot of risky buys. I don't think most of them can buy armor in this case, full armor. And attackers did take that hit, but it's going to have to be another round for the defenders if they want to gain an advantage yet. I think they can take this, though, with the op advantage in mid.
Yeah, and like you alluded to, the economy was still fantastic for BDSM off the back of those 5-1 rounds, and now they're going to be able to keep putting a full buy into this, and possibly even the next round, looking how great their economy is. Still, that operator on Claude, that could be the power weapon to see here.
Launching smoke.
Change of pace for BDSM. A quick hit, and K-Sweet opens onto Eltha. She had so much impact in the previous round, but instantly taken out. Claude does have her Hunter's Fury, and she could elect to use that to work off this point. She will. Freya has to fall off the line, but thus far, no tag, and none to be found from that. Instead, Raging Penguin, that name keeps eluding me. We'll find Abby. And up on top of the box is K-Sweet holding the line, but Violet finds Freya. It's even now, but the attack, they're finally kind of coming out on top here. Claude, she might just have to save that operator instead, just abandoning it, keeping it out of their hands as her teammate finds one off to Kaylee. An unlucky timing as she juggles the darts, and K-Sweet finds 3. 6-1 at BDSM. They're looking fantastic here, CC.
Oh, does K-Sweet get the op? She doesn't. Oh, just denying it from her. And something is just, they played that very well because they knew that the defenders had the op in that moment, so they weren't going to play for mid. They weren't risking that. They took the advantage they had in regards to gun, and they took it to A. And I really like how they just managed to close off those lines from her. They denied getting any kills with that weapon. It's just very good on the attacker's part.
Yeah, again, I feel like I brought this up at the beginning, but look how little
Standing
utility
ahead.
was initially at this A site. At one point, it was just for Yoru to hold on. Now there's finally some stall potential with that Brimstone, but still,
Molly.
this site has proved really bothersome for Shinigami.
Yeah, and even if they do have the stall, they don't have the full read on the enemies, but it looks like they're trying to get a pinch right now.
Yeah, that positioning from Abby is going to shut down a lot of map control. But look at this rotation coming in, all the way towards B.
Oh, and it's so free right now.
Kittens, though. The Gatecrasher into position, but she doesn't have the weapon for the job and dies as a result. Again, this is such an early man advantage. A minute on the clock to work with still, as they find a great pick. And now, BDSM, they don't have to do much here. They can just stall this out and wait for an opportunity.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, it looks like a full rotate. Oh, but A is so free, and K-Sweet's gonna take that advantage.
Quiet now.
Yeah, and that pick falls in mid, but that positioning that you brought up there, she's going to have a perfect flank if this B site hit is to come. And now
30
she's
seconds
turning
left.
the corner into 2, and it's a shooting gallery. She hits the first, trying to line up the second, and she'll find it as well. But on the site, Abby finds one, and Claude will deny that flanker. It's a 2 versus 2, but site control is that of
One enemy
BDSM.
remaining.
Claude, though, she finds 3, and Kaylee is left alone in this clutch. Spike initiated.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, 10 seconds. She's trying to take the fight, but turns at the last second, and Abby gets the better of her. A second round now for Shinigami.
Yeah, and it sounds like Sova made movement on there and just to try and bait out Kaylee, and it looks like it worked out on the defender's advantage. Very well played, good teamwork on their part. And that's definitely gonna get them a little bit closer, but it's just not enough yet. We're not looking at a huge economic change right now. It's just they keep losing these rounds, and they're not gonna be able to get it back unless they have a streak.
Yeah, that momentum picture that you brought up, it's just so strong for BDSM right now. And I don't know, what do you think Shinigami could change up here to find a better opportunity into this one?
You know what? I feel like they played the last round very well. There was a lot of rotations coming out, and I feel like denying them the site is the best advantage they can have because their post plant is the most scary.
You should handle this.
Yeah, that lockdown will be initiated in Kittens. Again, she's just coming in saying a quick hello to the Omen before she goes out on her way. But no, she screws up the timing and is punished for it. Freya, that's 2 absolutely free picks, and
Last
Verena
player
helps out
standing.
as well. Kaylee for a 4th, and suddenly this round has completely fallen apart. Eltha left in the 1 versus 5.
And it looks like she was just trying to wait for the flank, but they were too aggressive. They couldn't wait
Spike
a
planted.
little longer. She's gonna
Poor
go for
Yoru.
it though.
Yeah, Yoru just wanted to say hello, get an opportunity into that one, but not a kind greeting back from Freya. 7-2, and already they've won this half.
Yeah, and that was very good timing on Freya's part because to be able to time Yoru's coming out of his ult, I mean, she was immediately trying to back out of that site, but Freya was just shooting into the Yoru ult, and it paid off so well for her.
Yeah, and what I'm worried about, CC, is look at this composition. They have the Reyna and they have the Yoru, but still, those flashes, that's not always going to be the easiest entry, and especially if it's going to be mounting a comeback on that attacker side, I'm a little worried for Shinigami.
And right now, again, the economy is just not going well for them at all. Kaylee, getting the pill.
Yeah, and look at that early advantage. Kitten, she's been going for these plays, going for these early advantages, and consistently it hasn't been working out for her.
Looks like a slow moment right now. They're playing it safe, trying to feel out for it, and we're gonna see a quick rotation. B is open at the moment.
And this over-rotation feels to be a consistent theme thus far with this team. So again, it might be an opportunity for an open site, Susie.
Satchel out.
Oh, don't let them get the post plant.
Spike will be initiated, and it's a 5 versus 4. Make that just 3 points. Will finds 1, make it 2. Almost the adjustment for Violet, but she will find it down to 26. And
Shot that.
they have ult
30
here, but I don't even know if
seconds
they
left. One
want
enemy
to.
remaining.
Freya, she'll deny 1, and Elsa will attempt the clutch, but she only has the classic pistol and a dream.
Spike planted.
Moving Spike.
Stim beacon here.
Now she'll recover a stinger. She has the stim
Enemy
beacon,
down.
which is perfect for at least the 1 frag. They know exactly where she is. She's so boxed in this
Launching
position.
smoke.
most she can
smoke.
hope to do is just to recover a weapon at this moment.
And I don't think there's even any near her given the opportunity. The drone, again, is going to reveal her out. And 43 HP, barely anything yet left. But Freya pushes through another one into the meat grinder of that Singer. But regardless of her best efforts, it will be an 8th found for BDSM.
And you know, I really commend Elsa for that ult usage and trying to prevent the plant going down, but it just wasn't enough. Right now, they're at a full disadvantage, ult-wise, economy-wise. It's just not going well for them, and I don't think they can take this back right now.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation for them to be in. And this is, of course, BDSM's pick, and it will be split next in the best of 2 series. So that might be their opportunity to respond with maybe a little more energy. But still, 2 to 8 is not an impossible scoreline. If they can find these next couple, win the pistol, build some momentum, there's an opportunity for this comeback just yet.
You really believe that much in the comeback?
I'm not saying I believe. I'm saying it's a possibility. It's a percentage chance, but not a big one at that.
Bomb buddy out.
Well, right now we're seeing Claude with the Bucky. I don't know if the Bucky's that powerful for the comeback.
I don't know. I wouldn't disrespect the Bucky. Don't sleep on that gun. Everyone slept on the frenzy, sorry, and look how well that turned out. And I don't know. Bucky, a lot of folks over in Europe, we've seen it used to great effect there. And K-Sweet looking for the updraft, looking for an opportunity, but it's a slow start. And Claude, she's punished for a little bit of aggression.
Oh, and it looks like off that pig, they just run off, hoping that they over-rotate. They're playing off of this. They recognize the fact that they just have so quick move.
Abby, that's perfect for one. She dismisses that one. Was looking for the second, but Vernina will get the better of her. And that was the one shot, the opportunity
30 seconds
into this.
left.
But Violet, she's the last line of defense on the B side. Swats out one, trying to get the second, but K-Sweet is quicker, finds the headshot, and now it's site control. Again, it has to be a B site retake into this 2 versus 3. Breaking the door will reveal the position, and Alpha's been good thus far. She might have to be the difference maker back into this, but the dart will ping her out, and the Hunter's Fury from Freya won't quite connect, but still, this wades that push temporarily. In quickly with the classic, it's not going to be good enough. Now it's Alpha left alone, and she's gone to 9-2. And even if they lose this next one, this half is already so strong for
Before the
BDSM.
switch.
Yeah, but you know, we haven't seen how they play on the attacker side yet, and maybe there's a chance, but it's gonna be a really tough fight for them.
Absolutely. And this, looking at this last round of play, the guns they have available aren't always what you'd want to see in a situation where you need rounds so desperately.
Especially on such a long range map, it's just giving up the gun power on this map is just something you don't want to do. All these sight lines.
Absolutely. Brimstone, again, she's alone over towards this A site, and I feel like by now they maybe would have wanted to adjust the killjoy over, adjust some more stopping power onto this site that's proved so troublesome. But and again, it's not like the B site. It's been much easier for them. Vernina, she's in quickly, and it will be Alpha to find one. Abby, though, in for 2 with the Spectre.
Right here.
And her ultimate. The killjoy lockdown initiated, but this almost feels too soon. It'll force him off site. But they're just going to be able to rotate over. Still a chance in this 2v4, but this is a round that they need. Kittens finds the first, so suddenly left all on to Penguin. She's had good impact thus far, but would have to make it 4 in this one.
Oh, it looks like she's gonna get pinched though. Not an ideal situation. Oh, they're not gonna spot her.
They
out,
walked
though.
right by her. They walked right by her. This might be an opportunity. Violet might. Oh no. Oh no, this timing.
looking the wrong way.
Unfortunate for Penguin.
All right.
But Violet pulls it through. 3 to 9 and a dominant half for
Switching sides.
BDSM.
But maybe if they can pick up this crystal round, you know, 3 to 9, it might be possible if they can just manage to pick up this pistol round.
Yeah, if we think of the scoreline, pistol round, that's up to 4. The first buy round, the anti-eco there, would get them up to 5, and if they win the first gun round, that's almost a guaranteed 6, but still, the gap would still be quite far, and that's even thinking ahead of just this one. They are on the frenzy wave a little bit. Claude has it
A
out, so
little
we
bit.
love to see that.
Oh, but it looks like Vernina's just planning to spot them out immediately. A delay by the Raid Boombot.
And that information
frenzy wave
is
gets it.
big. The frenzy wave watches the boombot right away. These rotations are so quick though. Oh, you know Casey's feeling it when she buys the sheriff on the pistol round.
Oh no. It looks like they're gonna read the rotate though. They're so hesitant. They're stalling out so much.
And look at this. They're just sitting. They're not finding any map control, finding any space, and it feels like they're just kind of afraid of what could happen, of this inevitability of possibly a win. But Kitten, she has the first chance. A little right click, a little spotting, but nothing much more. Still, Killjoy utility on this B site. And the attackers, Shinigami, they've had to slow things right down. Abby peeked out, dinked down by Freya.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds now, Cece. They have to push into this quite quickly, and it's just these pot shots. It feels so fearful. Practically no damage done to the defense. There will be one pick found by Elta, but K-Sweet trades. Freya, another, but K-Sweet goes one tap to Zero. Is perfect. Thus far, Claude gets one, but look at the time. 10 seconds and the spike is now down. They need to find these kills, and they might not even be able to do that. Ray's trying to delay. Claude has to reload. She will get the better of it, but K-Sweet just has to run away and hide.
Oh no.
Clutch.
That's a
She
heartbreaker.
didn't even need the sheriff in that moment. She just needed to wait. Oh, the hesitance. It just cost them. Now we're seeing huge forces on both sides. Just stingers all about. One bulldog. It looks like right now the defender has maybe a tiniest bit of advantage, but they're gonna have to force this if they want to win it.
Yeah, they need to force into this round. They need to find opportunities, but the buy is a lot stronger out from BDSM, and the information is good too. And they're trying the same aim play again, but they need to step up the pace for this one. They can't just stagnate into this round. And again, the utility usage, perfect. Keep them out of this site, and it's an opener for Vernina on to Abby. That is a good start if you're a fan of BDSM. But it will be the take on site, though it's getting shut down quite quickly. K-Sweet with 2 Vernina, another. Elta in the clutch, she can't do anything. 11-3, and this is almost an inevitability as BDSM continue to build.
Yeah, but this was their map pick, and hopefully we can see Shinigami bring it back on split. But right now, it's just I don't think they can bring this back right now, and they're gonna have to, I guess, just hope for better.
Yeah, and looking at this map for the remainder, how do you feel about pulling out the Yoru here? Because I feel like it's had pretty mixed results for them thus far.
You know, with such a long-range map where you can that Euro teleport can so teleport with long pipelines, because you take so much advantage of the fact that people aren't expecting you to be there at 5 seconds flat. But it seems like right now it's never to their advantage.
Yeah, never an opportunity to capitalize with K-Sweet and K-Lee working combo to find 2. Freya through the smoke. That's great for her. And again, it's left onto Kittens and Claude, and they're both kind of locked into this B site. Defenders starting to box in from both the defenders spawn and market, but Freya does not see Kittens coming. Vernina swings, finds one, Claude to trade. A 2 versus 1. And Claude, she's looking the wrong way. K-Sweet on the Blade Storm finds them a 12.
And it looks like, again, that teamwork we saw Raging Penguin teleport to try to confuse them as to where they were, and it paid off because they were not focusing on K-Sweet.
Good distraction, good usage there. And again, this buy is so broken. Shinigami, they've had to force every round here. They've had to put money into every single round, and now what? They have a teammate on a Stinger, they have a teammate on a Vandal, they have everything under the sun, all split up, but the alt economy is also in the favor of BDSM, and they're just running away with this.
And yeah, it looks like they're all gathered up looking to take
Who's
mid, but
next?
just-
Kittens again on this ult, and will run right past one, but again, she teleports back getting that information. At least it worked out for her this time.
And you know that's a very interesting way to use Yoru, more like a phoenix or anything else.
Yeah, and you see it right here. She capitalizes off the information and will find Verena, but still. 4 left alive for BDSM, and Claude, that drone, goes right over the head of the Omen. She swings out, but can't find anything. Claude in for 1, and a 3 versus 5. Finally, a good advantage standing for Shinigami, but Kaylee in the corner will find Abby. An overextension punish. Freya challenging a pick, but K-Sweet helps out. Alpha gone. The spike will be initiated, so it's a 3 versus 3 retake. Hunter's Fury available into the post plant.
Oh, but they're all pinched in right here. I don't think they can take advantage of this because the moment that somebody swings on them, it's just over. They're so low.
The health disadvantage is huge, and the execute will have to come quickly. They need to go big if they want to stay alive in Ascent. Claude, that's a great start to find Freya. But it's Kaylee and K-Sweet, the dynamic duo who've done great work. And they start off well. K-Sweet with 1, and she would need 3, but she can't find it just yet. 4 to 12, and that's at least a round to wave off the possibility of defeat for Shinigami.
That's around, and hopefully they can afford to buy something. But again, it's just fractured buys. Even if they took that 1 round, it's been so long that they've been forcing it up. They can't gain any form of advantage in regards to gun power. And not even that, it's just the ult economy is not there for taking sites at all. It's not.
Gun here.
It's just not looking good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, look at the stack towards the B site. They are going quickly, and they're going aggressively, pushing out of B main, but it's not quite where this attack lies.
Revealing area.
Will be an A hit, and if they take site quickly here, it would just have to be that retake. Initial aggression.
There's nobody on site, and they're just waiting so long. Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, and I think we're losing you a little bit to the internet there, but they're still holding on strong as it will be a retake. Claude, she has the spike. Wait, she has the spike in mid, and she just dropped it for Nina. Oh, that is so perfect from her. Now they just have it locked down here. This is disastrous. They had site control, they had every possibility, but she was trapped in Sabrosa and couldn't do anything. Abby now has to push for this retake. She'll find the first, just misses away. A 4 versus 4, but Freya takes Kittens. This was such a good start, but now disaster striking for Nina. In close, an opportunity.
Last player
Yeah,
standing.
she found one. K-Sweet, another. It's all onto Alpha now. She's peeking her positioning known. With 30 seconds, she'd have to
30
find
seconds
4.
left.
Oh no.
First opportunity, first chance, finds one.
my
The
goodness,
second,
the
a double
shot.
spray down. Now
Open
she
up
has an
the
ultimate.
sky.
There's the last 2 are so low. She could find this, but the time is everything here. 15 seconds. She needs these kills.
Spike.
And she might just not check here. And that's it. K-Sweet closes.
Defenders
And it's an absolute massacre as BDSM run away with their map pick and take it 1-0 towards split.
Wow, impressive showing by BDSM. They obviously knew what they were doing, and I can only hope that I want to see it come back. I think that Shinigami can definitely bring it back on Split. You know, I think that they have the ability to do so because it's just when you've had a map that you know so well, it's just they obviously were aware of where to be. They played it so well.
Yeah, BDSM, I felt like they were in control that whole time, holding down the line and really running away with things. But if we look towards Split now, Shinigami, they picked into this map and they've won it in the past against other teams. But still, it's it's a bit rocky based off that showing we saw from BDSM. I'm not sure how much faith I can put into this one for map 2.
You know what? I have faith for Ethical. I think that she could definitely turn it around, and I want to see how she plays the next few rounds.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if that impact continues, and if there is a possibility for Shinigami to pull things back in map 2. It's the Gal League Open Division. We'll be back in a moment. map 2. It's split. And in the first one, we saw BDSM send Shinigami through the ringer. A 13-4. Bit of a curb stomping over there. And we're back to see if they can change things up on their map pick of split. I'm Mimi, back again with Sleepy, and we're into things here.
Yeah, and I find it very interesting that BDSM chose to pick Defender on this map with the changes that have been made. I was expecting more of an attacker-oriented push. As we've seen, they tend to lean towards the Defender sides, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. They saw a really strong defense there, but I think part of it was that we didn't get to see a whole ton of attack rounds out, but we will have to see how things happen for them into this one. Of course, Shinigami did pick this map, and they've looked good on it in the past, but BDSM, they're definitely not a slouch on split.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that because they're the attacker this time, I want to see what happens if they get a little aggressive with it. Hope to try to take a little bit more control of the map, not conceding so much like they did on the last map. I'm really hopeful for this map on Shinigami's side.
Yeah, and I want to hear, coming into things, there have been a bit of changes, and I'm happy to see that they're not pulling the Yoru out here. I don't think it worked well for them, so happy to see them switching things up, but it is a triple duelist for Shinigami.
Yeah, and I'm interested because their star player, Elthicol, on the last round, she picked KJ right now. So it's going to be interesting because right now they're on the attacker side. They're going to have to take map control because before we can have any use of her utility.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested to see how well they can continue this aggression, because the triple duelist is obviously going to kind of favor towards the frag-heavy attacker side and those quicker pushes. So I want to see if maybe they can build this momentum and set themselves a little bit better than we saw out on Ascent.
Definitely. And right now, it looks like we're looking at the same buy on both sides, surprisingly. Similar strats.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a quick push towards B. They are electing just to play this retake, and the B side retake can work quite well for a lot of teams. The thing I'm wondering is how we're going to see them set up into this post plant.
Well, it looks like we're already getting some usage of that killjoy.
Spike
Right
planted.
Oh,
side
Freya.
on one side. Oh. But it looks like it's not going to be any use right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just running it down with the frenzy where that weapon can excel the most. In case we have to share somebody's name on it, but Abby finds it first. Vernina sending it in with the right click, find one. Jet now caught out,
Enemy remaining.
down. Freya cuts her out of midair, and the last gone too. Vernina finds it. It's 1-0, and another really great pistol round from BDSM.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good start for the momentum, and they retain a lot of the good guns that they have right now. I wonder if they're going to try to keep it up, or they're probably just going to buy half next round. Right now, it looks like the attackers, it was a very quick push by them. It looks like they tried to execute it very well, but it's just the post plant was not that well played against the aggression on the defender side. They gave up that site so well. They had the man advantage still, and they were able to take that
This goes
advantage
here.
to the end.
Yes, this should do. Here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of the issue with triple duelists. They can oftentimes struggle on those retakes, but we do actually see a force spot from the side of Shinigami. And we don't always see people forcing in after a loss, but they got the spike plant, extra 300 creds in the bank, so they will have an opportunity for this one.
It looks like we're going to see another quick execute, pushing out onto site. Hopefully they'll clear this out.
Yeah, great start for Claude and Alpha. She'll actually find another. So this force spot is working out very well thus far. Kittens will keep things up as she finds Kaylee. And into a 5-on-2. This would be a fantastic round for them to find. Vernina, here's the reload, and finds the frag. Kitten's gone, but she only had so little HP. K-Sweet, though, she's the woman to watch. Has that bulldog, the only rifle into things, but quickly she's neutralized, and Vernina as well. 1-1, and they respond, taking the force.
Yeah, that was a very good round for Shinigami, and I think A worked out so much better for them because of the fact that it's not that... it's kind of a little bit harder to retake if you don't have a flank.
Yeah,
In my
absolutely.
opinion.
That A site ever fickle.
Never fickle. Right now we're looking at just a very
Even fight?
very
That's
very
fun.
not favorable buy on the defender side. It looks like the attackers might be able to convert this if they manage to take control.
Yeah, just a bonus on those stingers, but little baby stingers on the frenzy's up and available. An early run it back actually for Kittens to buy some great space, but she won't check on this Cypher. Bit interesting that we actually saw her shoot that there. She could have just kind of stayed undetected down in hell, but now they know she's here and they can pressure her out. Abby finds K-Sweet. And the remainder getting boxed in. It's an execution in a spray down as it's just a 2 versus 4 now.
Yeah, it looks like they have the advantage in this situation. Right now, it seems like the defenders are getting pressure to push in because of time's oh. But they get that. Raging Sanguine.
One fine remaining. Claude will quickly reply on back. So still stabilize, things staying safe. Freya, she's just trying to bait in pretty much wants to die at this point. But she won't even be given that opportunity just yet. It is the executioner, Violet Ali, swinging in, finishing things up, and for once, I think for the first time this series, we see Shinigami actually a bit in control as they sit 2-1.
Yeah, they're sitting pretty on their money right now, and I think they can definitely take this right now. They have the advantage in regards to. Well, never mind. They're buying stingers. It looks like they're electing to buy stingers because they're going to be playing a close sights map. Is this a bonus? This can't be a
I think
bonus.
it's just a bonus of the 3 stingers they retained from the last round, and they're just trying to build up this economy in a big way. But of course, the money is much better now for the defensive side. But the bonus can build stuff up so quickly, and these frags are building up well. 2, 3, off the wreckage to be made, and Violet, she wants to hand in this, but dropped as well. Hey, Sweet, finding 3 there, and it's left just on to Abby.
I feel like they were trying to save up because they were just so down bad the last game that they decided that they need to build up their economy before they could take any risks.
Yeah, definitely preventing those economic woes before they become a large issue. And I'm interested to see if we see a continuation of this aggression that works so well. K-Sweet finds 4, and that's also going to be the run it back up and available for her nice and early into this game.
They are sitting pretty at an advantage right now, so hopefully, I just can't get a read right now because right now it's just so split up. Everybody's playing so well.
Yeah, and last game I think we saw a lot of players on Shinigami not having the best run of things. It was really Alpha, the only one kind of out of the pack that was having those big impactful rounds when it was a struggle for practically everyone else. But now I'm glad to see things a little more equal and maybe a chance for Shinigami to reply. The Blade Storm up early, and so is the run it back. Freya helps out to punish 1, and that's a great early advantage found. Ooh, this is an interesting shot lineup. It's actually going to land right in main. Won't find much damage, but still cool nonetheless.
Nice little molly in mid. It looks like they're hoping to take A. They're using all their manpower to just, woman power to just try to take it, but it's just so slow.
Yeah, but look at this positioning from the defense. That was quite an over-rotation, sending 3 to B. I'm not sure what prompted them to make that change, but it's not quite the correct call. However, the hit wasn't quick enough, so the rotation's already back in, and this is going to be an impactful one for either team to win. Of course, BDSM, that man advantage, up 1, and Freya tags 1 down in heaven, looking for an opportunity for a shot, but she pulls back into the safety of the crossfire. Raging Penguin can't hit the shot onto Claude and Vernina. Well, she's in for 2, make it 3, a great spray down. Elsa hits 1, but it's not enough. Kaylee finishes things off. 3-2, BDSM, they pull ahead.
Yeah, they could have had the advantage in the moment. They had the heaven control, but they didn't take sight at all. It seems like they stacked everyone in heaven, and because of that, they were just pinched in from all corners, from ropes, from CT. It just wasn't that good of a place to be at that moment.
Absolutely, and now we might want to look towards this ult economy because there is that Killjoy lockdown available. No Killjoy sitting on the side of BDSM, but that character, her ultimate can be so impactful, and I want to see how they capitalize on it on this attack side.
You should run.
Oh, you see it come out.
But yeah,
That
that,
was premature.
that's still a good control game. Casey, that's quite aggressive from her. Freya, though, through the smoke finds two before she is treated. But oh, a raging penguin. This positioning is great. Oh, she doesn't have the trigger discipline, though. She flubs the opportunity. And that means they know where she is. They know the flank is coming. And there's not much they can do. Elsa deploys the spike on
planted.
site. Penguin in main, but they know where she is.
Last
They will
player
find the
standing.
opportunity, but Kittens gets the better. Kaylee
No more charges left.
left in the 1 versus 3. One is low, so there's an opportunity, but she'll have to face Claude, and with her knife out, nothing she can do. Wrapped
what?
up with a bow, 3-3.
That was a miscommunication on my part. It wasn't premature. That was actually way smarter than I could ever think to be, because that managed to make whoever was sitting in heaven just try to run out, gave whoever was in mid easy picks. That was very well played on their part, actually, because putting that pressure on them to leave that side alone also put the pressure on them to leave themselves open to the enemies. It was either you get stuck in the ult and you get probably knifed, or you have to take the fight to mid, and they chose that fight at mid and they lost it.
Joke's over.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Good ult there, and good information. These Phoenixes both kind of farming up the run it backs, which is a great thing to see a lot of the time. Kittens, great, gets actually some really good map control, but no one's initially there to capitalize, so the defenders, they have to kind of tuck in, and they are electing to kind of retake this ground. Okay, Sweet, the first one up the door, and not able to find anything. The Hunter's free from Freya. Actually gets 2 tags there, but won't convert much else. Abby initiates the spike on site. 5 versus 5 in this retake.
Going up.
Sweet, the flame wall will actually find that. That was just a flurry of kills for Nina. Oh, she went right past someone
Enemy remaining.
and is next to another. Elsa taken and now left all on to Violet, and there's nothing she can do. A 1v5 and she'll just save her weapon.
That was a beautiful retake on their part. Freya's ult in that moment, it just did so much damage that they got scared off. They really couldn't maintain that control. Right now we're just looking at it. It seems like that now, despite saving so much money, Shinigami again hurting for cash. Fractured buys, and it looks like it's not gonna be good for them, but if they can take these close fights, they can probably win. We do see 3 Vandals up. They can hopefully try to turn this in their favor.
And this is one that they really like to find. They don't want to let the momentum run away for BDSM. We saw that on the first map where they found those rounds, they found that momentum, and they took that in stride. Striding up into the heavens, Freya dies immediately. K-Sweet and Kaylee, they chime back, and it's now 3 for the defense. They're looking great. There's a trade back.
Enemy
Still,
remaining.
K-Sweet holds the line and drops the spike into hell. Elsa, she's left alone here now in the 1 versus 3. Position might not be known, but she has to find all these picks. Great in the clutch. We almost saw her in a 1 versus 5 last game. She only has to find 3 this time. Catches Cypher's back. That's information given over. Spots out a second. She knows where 2 are and has the bots to assist in the clutch. Peeks up. Cypher. Seen yet again. Raise. Still an unknown quantity for Elsa.
Hello.
Spy cam to ward her off, and Raze says hello,
30 seconds
but she
left.
goes goodbye. Taken a 1 versus 2, but Casey holds it perfectly down, and we'll continue this BDSM momentum.
Elsa just trying to play the mind games, hoping to spread out her utility to try to get as much information as she could, but it just was not enough, and I don't think she was going to have the time if she tried to do that.
Yeah, definitely a tough spot for her to lie in, and unfortunately now that means that it's 5-3. And I want to ask you, looking at new split changes, I know like the statistics for higher level play and all that, but do you think that it's more favorable for the attacker side with these adaptations?
I think on B side, you know, just that close corner mid is so easy for any ciphers, any cages to just easily get a read, you know. all you needed was a little bit of information, and the minute you had to rotate there, it was over for the team attacking. So I think just having a way larger spread in regards to pushing onto site, a little bit more places to hide behind, I think that definitely gave the attackers a bit more of an advantage. But we're not seeing that play out well for the attackers. It seems like the defenders are just kind of hold.
Yeah, and it feels like it's these retake plays that are working well. And again, it looks like they might just elect for that retake. B site all but surrendered as Claude found that opening pick to hell.
Come on, let's go.
Alpha gonna try and plant here. The run it back, quick for K2. A perfect line onto the Reyna, and she finishes the kill off as well. That's two going their way, but she can't find the third. Still, great information. And look at the positioning from the attackers here. They are all off-site, and Alpha, she is practically alone. She's blind too, and now nothing she can do. A tap on the bomb, the last two are heaven. The last planet for them. A wide peek from Kitten's punished. Violet finds one. She needs to get them off the bomb. They're just sticking this a body block, but they line right. 4-5 as Violet pulls that off. Wow.
Oh, they just body block. If that's all they needed, they just needed to stall for that 0.millisecond. Oh, how unfortunate.
Perfect situation for her, and I felt like that round was all but lost. They were out of opportunities, they were out of options, but sometimes it just takes one individual performance to pull things into your vantage.
Hopefully we're seeing more of these individual performances later, because
Get out
right
of
now
my
it's just
way.
not working out for them. Abby electing to go for the ult instead. That is one ult used.
Joke's over. You're
Yeah,
dead.
early blades. And again, these Phoenix running backs are continually so impactful. Penguin, an aggro push, takes that Bladestorm out of the picture. Claude will trade off the back of the running back. And look how split up this is. There's two towards A main, but the B site is secured in its own right. These rotations, though, can it be pretty slow? So everyone is split up, practically two isolated 2v2s on each site, but the attackers rotating over towards the B side of things.
I'm surprised they're not taking more control of mid right now, because if they had in that moment, it would have been so good once they caught someone on the middle of a rotation. That could have been a change that they needed, but it looks like they elected to give it up so quickly.
And look at this now. There's really good retake positioning for these defenders. They have control of the back halls, they have control of heaven, and they're even going to confirm that no one is there to flank. So it just has to be the players from main and on site to hold this in the 4 versus 4. They're looking for this early fight onto Vernina, but nothing given away quite yet. This execute getting set up, and Kittens will go aggro, finding the first, Claude another, but traded. She's in for 2 now, Vernina. In hell, finding those picks, and now she'd have to make it 4. Looking for more opportunities. She hears the Reyna, but peeks out into the wrong position. Violet, again, pulling through these rounds, and it's 5-5 back into the tie.
Ooh. And I questioned that positioning by Violet in the middle of Garage when they had something to watch their flank, but it worked out for her in the end, holding that site. Eventually, Vernina was going to have trouble finding the last one. Looks like she was just hoping to play to stall out for the bomb.
Yeah, and Stacey, look at what this has done to their economy now.
Yeah, for once, we see the defenders are at a disadvantage in regards to gun. Hopefully, this looks like this might be a good change for them.
Still, I wouldn't count them out. We've seen some great performances on these low buys, especially looking towards like K-Sweet on that Sheriff. And look how aggressive this A main hold is. They know that they need fights early, so they are kind of over-rotating, trying to maybe stack towards where they hear noise, but nothing presenting itself quite yet. Speculative shots both ways. Still plenty of time.
Yeah, and this also helps them recognize the fact that they have made people rotate, but looks like Cypher is going for the long road because it's not going to catch anyone.
Yeah, but the timing is going to be big on this one. If she can find all the way around into those players in main, that will be perfect. From the shadows, onto backside, reveals Case. And this will show that it might be an A committal, but quickly, that's 3 picks. Kaylee's rotation, that flank, plays off perfectly, and Kittens alone. She will find Vernina, who was holding on to that spike, which means she can push towards B and could possibly have the site for free. However,
30
still,
seconds
it's
left.
again this clutch. She needs 3 kills to pull it through, and this is one that's important to win, to continue this momentum, to continue these opportunities for Shinigami.
Oh, and look at what she's doing. She seems to be trying to catch a flank on Heaven. But this just leaves the bomb free to somebody who just sticks the defuse.
Oh, this could be perfect, though. Look at the positioning. There's 2 up Heaven. She knows at least one is there. She hears the dart from Freya, but she peeks right into the hold, finds the first now. Able to heal up with those hot hands. A hot hands, though, of K-Sweet to hold her back. She has to push right through, and she dies for it. Perfect utility usage, and that gives a 6 now to BDSM.
Yeah, very well played by K-Sweet in that moment. All she just knew she just needed to stall, because when you plant right there, it's not an
Last
ideal
round in the
place to
half.
defend from, unless you're holding maybe garage. Even then, you're gonna have to spend time going over there to try to at least get a look at whoever's defusing.
A tough spot for her, and unfortunately for Shinigami, that's now them sitting in a place where the best they can do is a tied half. But looking at the ultimates available for the side of BDSM, 7-5
This is
looks
a nice
fairly
spot.
likely.
Come on, let's go!
K-Sweet immediately on this run back is actually taking things quite slow, and that's a run it back, and the pick is on. She might even get a second. Not gonna happen. It's the Killjoy lockdown. This is the same one we saw before that forced them out of middle, that worked so perfectly for the attack, and they'll have to do it again. A Hunter's Fury is available to deny, but they won't use it. Instead, they just know they can play retake here, use the ultimates, and use that advantage.
But it looks like it didn't get the hopes that they could have gotten.
Oh, that Hunter's Fury. It doesn't connect to kill, but it does get 2 tags, and Kaylee, she'll connect those tags. She'll find 2 picks of her own.
remaining.
And an ultimate up to try and crash here, but Penguin finds one, traded though. And Abby, again, it would have to be one of these 1v3 clutches. Oh, but look at the bomb. Look where that spike is.
She doesn't even have it. Oh no. And
Freya.
even, if she elects to go here, she can't. Cypher has his utility up.
Cypher, the tripwire, and Freya in position. A terrible time to look away, and Freya capitalizes 7-5, and BDSM, they're coming out on
Switching
top.
sides.
But this is a much better showing than what we saw last time.
Yeah. And I think I really want to emphasize how well Claude has been playing. You know, despite every single time I've seen her ult, it's gotten shut down. But these are just pure frags that she's getting without ult. Just hoping to bring back the team, and I think it's made a huge impact.
Oh God, look at the buy from BDSM.
Oh no, they're gonna.
That is 4 frenzies, all of which with armor, and I'm a little terrified.
It looks like the frenzy wave is back.
Let's go.
The frenzy, it's a frenzy tsunami at this point, dude. They're all up and ready to go with that weapon, and well, Abby is gonna have to hold off here with kittens, but the frenzies, they are spraying in so quick. It is an offense to come out on top of the trades, though. One frenzy and one ghost will find 2, and things slow right back down. The initial pace and a whiplash into a slow mid push.
You know what I think it was? Vernina didn't buy a frenzy. I think that's what.
They would have gotten all the picks there if they just had another frenzy.
One more.
Look at where Killjoy is, though. That positioning from Eltha means that they know it's not a B play. They know it's A, so all these rotations can immediately come through.
Oh no.
Oops. Nice shots from Abby to find K-Sweet. That's great from her. She's already found 1, and 46 seconds now. They're kind of trying to commit this A side. Up the ramps, Kaylee finds Abby, and they're looking for another opportunity. They'll find it. Now this is a 2-on-2, much more even than it initially might have suggested. And they're gonna go
30 seconds left.
into ropes. No, it's just a bait. They're trying to pull this rotation from Claude, but Claude's not falling for it. 20 seconds. They don't know Killjoy's position, but they're gonna try and make the run, make the jog towards the B site. Killjoy, though, is gonna head them off in the heavens, and if she denies the plant here, she could win this whole round, but
10
Cypher
seconds
up
left.
behind her
Swarm grenade
has the
out.
perfect
Last
position. She
player
swings.
standing.
The swarm grenade,
One
though,
enemy remaining.
pulls it through. Oh no! She might just
She
duck
just
in
needs to
time.
stay alive.
She will.
Oh yes.
a very close call, but still, it will
money.
be. Yeah, it still will be around for Shinigami. They need it.
Yeah, and despite all of that, it looks like this isn't really gonna help Shinigami much in regards to the economy. They're, oh no, it's just still not ideal for them.
Definitely a tough spot for them to lie in, and still, it is going to be a bit of an investment into this round from BDSM. Just a sheriff here, a ghost there. And I'm interested to see that they're only forcing really 3 weapons into that, excluding, of course, the sheriff on top is immediately taken out. So this is a great, quick advantage Violet finds too, but still, a 3 versus 3, and that's great performance from her, but still, this is evened out. Ooh, Elsa peeking, punished, kittens from the heavens finds 2. Abby there as well, but Kaylee finds a sheriff kill. It won't be enough. Abby in the one-on-one pulls it back even, 7-7.
This is getting really close. It seems like they're just equally, I guess, matched in regards to ability to get kills, and it just ultimately comes down to the last few people who are there.
We really saw that blowout on Ascent, but this definitely a much closer affair, a much more even showing. And my question is, can Shinigami continue this momentum and build into the game here after this round?
Well, right now it doesn't look so good for them because, again, we're seeing a lot of fractured buys on their part. If they take this round, oof, BDSM is going to be hurting. But at the moment, BDSM has the advantage.
Careful now.
Some ultimates available, and that is an opening pick found for BDSM. A good one too, Claude. She's been dropped first 2 times in a row now.
And I want to point out the fact that we almost never see any ults up, like, except for that one situation. There's good usage of ult right now because they're just using whatever they can to get any advantage.
Quick usage, making sure they get charged up quickly, and Kaylee will charge into sight off the back of the first pick. A run it back for the defense will help out as Vernina, found by Abby, Violet in for another. It's a great pinch. They're cleaning up shop. Violet in
One
for 2.
enemy
And
remaining.
it's a 2 versus 2, but Raging Penguin, she'll find 1. Violet, left
30
alone,
seconds left.
blinded by the paranoia, and done with. Raging Penguin, perfect from her. She finds 3 to pull ahead.
Yeah, and that's it's again fractured buys all over again. It's just not a situation you want to be in. But the attackers do have 2 ults up right now, and so they have more of an advantage than the defenders in that moment. In this moment, wait, is this...
Absolutely.
wait.
Yeah?
I'm looking at the thing. It didn't change colors. My bad.
Alright, yeah. Valorant's great, and this is a quick push. It's getting punished quite quickly, too. They tried to charge on in with that low buy, but the cleanup crew is there and ready. Abby still has this Blade Storm, and she's the one to watch in this. Needs an opportunity. Up and over the top with the right click. Won't pay off. Vernina finds it, and they look to make things flawless as a 9th round to be pulled, unless Elsa can pull some magic.
Oh, but she's gonna have to do it quick because they're not even planting though. They're so confident.
They don't even need the plant. She's tagged out now. Her position known, and her life gone. Penguin, she's really popping off here.
Yeah. I think that comes up to just working well together to try and, I guess, bait out these kills in a way. Freya's bullying everyone with her utility.
Yeah, as you often see with those stuffs, I feel like Sova's not always a character we see picked into on the map of Split, but she's definitely doing good work with it. Those 10 assists, almost a triple-double for Freya.
Cover going out.
This momentum. BDSM kind of shut it down. Whatever Shinigami was trying to build up, but this next one, this is going to be an impactful round. Whoever can find this can set the tone. And if they can't pull it through, it might just be double digits for BDSM. K-Sweet, run it back quickly onto site, trying to find some space. Eltha, behind the flame wall, dropped by Kaylee. And look at the ults into this post plant. Everything you could want. K-Sweet in middle, finds Abby on the drop down. One falls into hell as Freya's drone will tag out a second. Good information and good positioning. Kittens, just this stinger, and she's trying to peek in. That showstopper up, good effect on Claude, another for Penguin on hit ace. And it's a team ace and another flawless round for BDSM.
Wow. That was the post plant positioning was just great. They double peeked, you know, to make sure they got those kills. It's just BDSM works well together. They obviously know each other's playstyle and they're there to back each other up. And I think that's what ultimately has made the difference. Right now, we're looking at a very, very split up buy on Shinigami's part.
It feels like consistently they've had these weird buys. They're really struggling to keep the economy together against this pressure that BDSM has continued to build. And look how great they're sitting. Tons of money, tons of space. Kittens trying to push, but Freya finds her. K-Sweet up into heaven, has an opportunity on the Omen. She's blinded, but it does not matter. Violet Ali, she's taken down too. And these entries, they are so quick. A 3 versus 5. This is a round that Shinigami needs if they want to pull this back in their favor. And Abby starts out well onto K-Sweet.
Alpha has her ult up though. She can force this out, but it's just not an ideal place to use it.
Yeah, she will find one with the classic there, and she could use this here, and she might just have to attempt this clutch. 1 versus 3 on the books for her, and the time is already halfway gone. That Hunter's Fury available, so even if it gets into a dire situation, there's still not too much you can do. Peeked out, taken out. Kaylee finds an 11th now for BDSM.
Not even a save on their part. And it looks like the attackers, they're sitting pretty on their money. They're sitting pretty on their ults. Wait, not attackers. The thing gets confusing.
Shinigami.
BDSM. Yeah, BDSM is sitting really well on money, but Shinigami has a lot of ults up right now, and they can hopefully take this back if they elect to use this to get the full advantage that they can get.
Yeah, and that's what we'd really hope for them if they want a fighting chance here, but right now it's a bit of a slower pace for BDSM. They've been pretty breakneck in these last couple of rounds, just stomping through sites and taking no time in the world. This time it's slower, but Abby, she's not turning down the pace as she tries to run through with the button. Nothing she can do. Neural theft. They'll get some information on the whereabouts of the remaining defenders. And this means that BDSM, they just have to group up. They need to play together here and wait for an opportunity. Kittens will fall off, and the Cypher will be able to hear this. And ooh, she's got a great timing. She has all of a heaven control and might be able to pull through, but Claude is kind of trapped out here. They will fall away from the B site and head back towards A, but look how good this control is. Kaylee, perfect position, perfect shot. Violet Ali, that's the Omen taken out too. A character that can be so impactful in these retakes. And Vernina, she can flank into heaven as well. There's so many flanks available, so much control. Kittens, up close, will get the better of Kaylee. An eye for an eye, a flank for a flank. She'll be tagged out. Oh, that's perfect. And they don't even need to use that Hunter's Fury. A 12th round secured for BDSM. That was perfectly played.
Match point.
Wow. I'm just stunned because that was just so clean on their part.
Yeah, being able to pull that rotation early and also force the waste of that lockdown was so impactful. That round was really almost just won by the Cypher of Kaylee. The position she found in the opening that she picked up on that rotation almost single-handedly pulled the match point. And now there is a buy, there's a chance, but still, it would have to be 5 on the trot to pull this back in the favor of Shinigami.
But they have a huge advantage in regards to ult economy right now. Shinigami can hopefully take this back if they elect to do what they have correctly.
Joke's
Yeah,
over.
Kitten's
You're
trying
dead.
to run it back,
Going
but
up.
she's not going to get anything for it. K-Sweet, on the other hand, she's charging in. A good blind, but cannot secure that kill. Abby finds that Phoenix's body, and now she tries to peek for another, but it's 2 quick picks. Abby, Claude, Kitten's all gone now, and it's just a flurry of kills is suddenly left all onto Violet, and she would have to find 5 for an opportunity to pull their map pick, but the 2-0 looks inevitable. A peek, she'll find it, the first. Still utility for her, but it's against unprecedented odds.
There's no time for hesitation.
No hesitation, no
Attackers
shot.
win.
13-7. A great showing from BDSM as they take the series 2-0.
Yeah, that was very impressive showing. In that last round, I would have liked to see a quicker rotation because they hadn't given up sight yet. They Abby was still trying to hold, but it just wasn't enough. The team was hoping to catch someone in mid, and I think they got caught up in watching too many spaces, and ultimately that cost them their last round.
Yeah, absolutely. A tough one for them, but still a really impressive showing from BDSM, picking up 2 maps there and looking great in the group. But with that, that's going to be it for the games tonight. This is, of course, only the 3rd week of Gal League, so there's 2 more to come, and playoffs after that. So lots of opportunities if you're tuning in on Thursdays or Fridays each week. All that information on all those future events is available in our Discord, which you can get with the exclamation point socials. You can also find the Twitter, the Instagram, all that jazz there, and awesome information on upcoming events. I believe there's a big tournament coming up soon, one in partnership with Gen G, the great prize pool. So lots of Valorant to come soon. But that's it for tonight. I'm Mimi, and again, it was here with Sleepy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you and have a good night.